So at first, second, and third, you don't succeed. Is the fourth time gonna work? Maybe. Hey guys, welcome to my The Fantastic Four First Steps movie review that I will be keeping spoiler free. So we're gonna review the movie, go over the good and some of the bad, and rate it using my super sophisticated 5-star rating system. I know, right? Even Mr. Fantastic was impressed. And after a few times by 20th Century Fox, we now have the first Fantastic Four movie by Marvel Studios. And no surprise, they finally got it right, giving us the best Fantastic Four movie so far. I know the bar was pretty low, but it's besides the point. And listen, from the first time I saw the trailer, I was confident they were gonna get this right because it looked like they were embracing the source material by legendary Marvel artist Jack Kirby, who introduced these characters in 1961. So yeah, like embrace the vibe, dude. And my favorite thing about this movie is just that, the vibe and the world that they live in. Think 1960s, the Jetsons, and Epcot. I kept getting like Spaceship Earth vibes. That's the ride inside of the Epcot ball. Yeah. And it's also refreshing to know that you don't need a degree in MCU movies to follow this, because this is a standalone movie from the MCU, which is rare. And I love the MCU, but it sometimes sucks when it feels like you have to do homework. Like I still haven't been able to sit through the Eternals. And if you care about your fan base, you shouldn't force anyone to watch that shit. And you'll never believe this, but Pedro Pascal is in this movie. Yeah. Jokes aside, he's always good. I've been a fan since Narcos. But he does change it up here a little bit by leaving out his charisma that he's known for. He's one of those guys that's actually super smart to the point that they're kind of disconnected. Vanessa Kirby plays Sue Storm. Dude, I've always been a fan of this actress, and I freaking love her in this, man. She's freaking awesome. You obviously have The Thing, you have Johnny Storm, and I'm going to get to those characters. And also a CGI baby that maybe could have looked a little better. I'm not saying it was Twilight Baby bad. That's some scary shit right there. But it could have been better. Julia Gardner as Shala Bal, the female Silver Surfer, which is in the comics, actually has some layers. They're probably the most interesting character in this movie. And Galactus, bro, Galactus looks good. The scale of him, the CGI, it's awesome. Even though I will say, I don't care how good the head is, I am not spending $80 on a popcorn bucket. But you do you. I also want to thank Disney for keeping this movie PG-13 because no detail, there is an event here that happens at 0 gravity. And I'm glad it had like the Disney gloss because you didn't want to go for realism here. No, thanks Mickey. But yeah, their suits look amazing. The entire movie looks freaking fantastic, dude. It does. Now, as for the bad, and please hear me out before you go all like, I hate this keyboard warrior and crap. As fantastic as this movie looks, and as great as these actors are, the story, it's not that interesting. Without going into detail, let me explain and you'll understand. This movie is not an origin story, which I appreciate. We've seen it enough times already. We pick up with our heroes already being around for 4 years. And we do see those 4 years pretty much packed in the first 10 minutes of this movie, just basically catching up the audience. But then it feels like we take what could have been a 30-minute story and stretched it out to 95 minutes to do the rest of the movie, which left me feeling like we were kind of robbed of some important moments we could have seen with certain characters to make us be into them more. Like I didn't really feel the chemistry by Sue Storm and Reed Richards. The Thing and Human Torch felt just kind of like bland, like diluted. In fact, as much as I didn't care for the earlier Fantastic Four movies, like I was like, dude, can we just get Chris Evans in here? Yeah. Also, the editing is really weird in some spots. Like there's maybe 30 minutes of combined footage that ended up on the cutting room floor that maybe they shouldn't have taken out. And that disconnect of just storyline does make me feel like there's a little bit of a pacing issue, even though there's really not, because the movie isn't boring, but it does feel like 80% of this film is either them hanging out in their tower, them being introduced for a TV audience, people cheering for them, or them talking to the public. Like, dude, I am not a fan of that like third act comic book CGI big battle with the laser beam in the freaking sky. But I'd be lying if towards the, beginning of the third act, I was like, can I get one of those? Yeah, please. All that said, I still did really like this movie. It's a nice new entry to what has been, if we're being honest, since Endgame, kind of hit and miss for the MCU. They did the Fantastic Four right here. Finally. Even though I do think there might have been a better movie in those first 10 minutes somewhere that we didn't get to experience. Also, no detail, there are 2 post-credit scenes. And like you normally see as kind of the trend now, the mid-credit scene, very important, teaserish, Final credits scene, silly, but still kind of fun. Yeah. So guys, what did you think of Fantastic Four 2025? And please like, subscribe, do whatever, all this stuff that I have, and thanks for watching.